Do you eat foods high on this scale? We're talking about glycemic index. Hey, this is Irma. This month I am going to focus on cravings because so many people get them. We're taking a deep dive right into cravings. You know why? Because we have to learn how to cope with them when they hit and how to prevent them. Sound good? Make sure that you check out my free ebook, Crush Your Cravings, which you can easily download. Go back to my post, about 3 to 4 posts, and you get a free Crush Your Cravings ebook. The foods we eat can set up your foods for cravings, especially foods that measure high on this one thing. Before I get into this, let me introduce myself. If you don't know who I am, I'm Irma from Transformation Academy, and I help busy CEOs and busy moms get in the best shape of their lives and get their balance back. If you're watching live, just press right here, live. And if you're watching replay, make sure that you press replay so that I know you dropped in. One major quality of food that you eat can really affect whether it triggers your cravings and keeps you satisfied. It has to do with something called the glycemic index, which means foods on a scale from 1 to 100 on how fast they raise your blood sugar levels. So, if you've heard of this glycemic index before and understand the basics, give me a like right here. Now, the faster and higher the foods make your blood sugar go up, the higher it's going to hit your glycemic index number, okay? This matters because when your blood sugar levels go up, it sends out hormones like insulin to help remove it. This can cause your blood sugars to crash. That makes you feel tired, a little shaky, a little blah, and a little while after you eat. Plus, it can also bring you to be very hangry, a combination of hungry and angry or anxious, which makes you want to eat more to bring your blood sugar levels back up. And I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Let me know in the comments if you do. This is a cycle that's really hard to break out once your body gets used to it, okay? Over time, all those insulin surges can become linked with insulin resistance, which means your cells aren't receptive to insulin. As you may know, insulin resistance is a major precursor for type 2 and 3 diabetes and other health issues like heart disease. That's one reason why it's a good idea to eat foods that don't cause big spikes in your blood sugar levels. As an aside, did you know that there is a global epidemic of diabetes? A global epidemic in diabetes. That's right. The number of people with type 2 diabetes has risen almost 300% since 1980. 300%, with more than 400 million people now having this disease. It's called the sugar disease. This is huge, major health issue. Pretty scary, right? You see, Mexico and the United States for the last few years were the fattest country in the world. I'm American and I'm Mexican. I do not want to win first place on that, correct? This is one of the reasons why I do what I do. So, back to the glycemic index. It mostly applies to foods that contain carbohydrates. But it's not that simple. Your blood sugar doesn't just respond on the amount of carbohydrates or natural sugars in foods. The amount of fiber, fat, and protein a food contains also plays a huge role helping slow down the blood sugar response. Just as a quick example, cornflakes cereal has a glycemic index of 81, while an apple has an index of 36. The cereal is processed foods that basically a sugar-delivered system. There's a very little fiber in it, and it also helps slow down its impact on your blood sugar levels. But even though the apple contains natural sugar, it also contains fiber, which helps slow how quickly it makes your sugar blood level rise. Plus, fiber helps keep you feeling full, which besides having health benefits, makes it also that can help you avoid cravings later. Is this making sense? Just give me a like. Give me a like if it does, okay? Now, knowing where on the scale a food lies can help you make a better decision about your eating, okay? I'll put a link on the comments to a glycemic index scale for you to check. You'll know if you're eating things that are really high index or low index on the scale, okay? But first, the glycemic index actually measures each food as if you were eating it alone on an empty stomach. But most of us, we don't eat it alone, right? Most of us don't do that when we eat. We eat a few different foods at the same time. For instance, if we eat with rice, which has like a GI of 87, chances are that you're eating something else with it. So like some delicious beef and broccoli, which have a GI index of 0 to 10 respectively. The second issue is your food is much more than the impact on blood sugar. It also contains vitamins and nutrients and other compounds on your body. Just as an illustration, highly processed M&Ms have a pretty low index of 33. But mac and cheese has a 64 index, and baked potatoes, which has a natural and packed with vitamins and minerals, come at 85. So also portion sizes are definitely count as if you're trying to maintain or lose weight. So what should you do? We need to think about the overall glycemic load of your meals. By that I mean if you're eating a food you know has a high glycemic index, something that is higher on the carb scale, how about balancing it out by also adding something like protein and healthy fats? So like the rice and beef broccoli example I just gave you earlier. Or if you're eating a high glycemic fruit like grapes, which have a GI of 60, you can add some good fats like a handful of nuts to slow down your blood sugar surge. You still with me? Give me a like if this makes sense to you. And in fact, this is where the old-fashioned square meals come into play. So way before the glycemic index was ever invented, our grandparents and our great-grandparents naturally balanced out every meal they served with a protein, a starchy carb, and veggies. So I hope this sheds some light on the glycemic index and how you can use it to keep your blood sugar stable, okay? And avoid those hangry feelings. You might even notice that you don't feel as hungry or hangry often. So if you need some help to set up a goal mapping session, you're interested in a small free mini challenge, or you want a coaching program, simply like this message or like and comment in, and my team of warriors will set up an appointment with you. I want to thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next post. Subscribe, like, and share, and I'll talk to you again later. Coach Irma says, keep on living and lifting. Peace.